Let me take you back to the 2008-2009 NBA season. A season of brilliance, fierce competition, and one of the greatest individual campaigns in basketball history. It's a year where Dwyane Wade delivered a basketball masterclass that left fans and analysts alike in awe. Wade in 2008-2009 wasn't just great, he was extraordinary. He led the league in scoring, dominated on both ends of the floor, and carried a Miami Heat team that, let's be honest, had no business making the playoffs without him. Yet, when the MVP votes came in, Wade didn't win. In fact, he didn't even finish second, he came in third. Today, we're gonna dive deep into this. Was Dwyane Wade robbed of the 2009 MVP award, or was it a fair result based on how the MVP is typically awarded? Stick around because this is going to be a fascinating breakdown. Let's start with the basics. Wade's 08-09 season was, without exaggeration, one of the greatest single seasons by a guard in NBA history. Just look at these numbers: 30.2 points per game, which was the league leader and a career high for Wade, 7.5 assists, 5 rebounds, 2.2 steals, which was second in the league, and 1.3 blocks per night. Those stats paint the picture of a player who was doing it all, scoring at will, facilitating for teammates, and dominating defensively. And it wasn't just empty numbers. Wade was absolutely everywhere. Think about it, how many players can give you 30 points a night while also protecting the rim and locking down the opposing team's best player? Wade's versatility on both ends of the floor was unmatched that year, even perhaps by the likes of LeBron James and Kobe Bryant, who we'll talk about later. Now, to truly appreciate Wade's season, you have to consider the context. The Miami Heat were coming off a disastrous 2007-2008 season where they won just 15 games. Yes, 15 wins. It was a team that had hit rock bottom after their 2006 championship run. Shaquille O'Neal was gone, and Wade was left with a roster that could be generously described as mediocre. His second best player in 2009, a rookie Michael Beasley, who, while talented, was inconsistent and not exactly known for his defense. The rest of the roster included Mario Chalmers, Udonis Haslem, and an aging Jermaine O'Neal. These are solid role players, sure, but none of them were all-star caliber. And yet, Wade took that team to 43 wins and a playoff berth as the 5th seed in the Eastern Conference. Without him, that team probably wins 20 games, maybe. That's the definition of carrying a franchise on your back. Alright, let's bring in the competition. LeBron James and Kobe Bryant. These were the two players who finished ahead of Wade in the MVP voting. LeBron's case is undeniable in many ways. He averaged 28 points, 7.6 rebounds, and 7.2 assists per game. Those are insane numbers, and when you combine them with his defense, 1.7 steals and 1.1 blocks per game, it's clear why he was a frontrunner. But the real kicker? The Cleveland Cavaliers finished the season with a league-best 66-16 record. Now let's look at Kobe. He averaged 26.8 points, 5.2 rebounds, and 4.9 assists per game. Great numbers, but not quite as impressive as Wade's or LeBron's. What helped Kobe's case was the Lakers' 65-17 record, the best in the Western Conference. Like LeBron, Kobe benefited from being the best player on an elite team. So here's the real question. Should MVP voting prioritize team success over individual brilliance? Because if it's about who was the most valuable player to their team, Wade's case becomes a lot stronger. Sometimes stats and team records don't tell the whole story. If you watch Wade play in 2009, you know how special he was. This wasn't just a player putting up numbers, this was a player who controlled every aspect of the game. Let me give you an example. There were stretches during that season where Wade was virtually unstoppable. Defenders couldn't keep him out of the paint, and when they tried, he'd burn them with his mid-range jumper or find an open teammate. On the other end, he was swatting shots and picking pockets like a defensive big man in a guard's body. Fans and analysts alike were saying things like, if you need one player to win you a game, right now you pick Dwyane Wade. That's the kind of dominance we're talking about. And in a league full of loaded superstars, LeBron, Kobe, Duncan, Dirk, Dwight Howard, Chris Paul, Kevin Durant, Wade was often considered the best of the bunch during his prime, and especially that season. In more ways than one, this brings us to the heart of the debate. What does the MVP award truly represent? Is it about the best player on the best team, or is it about the player who delivered the most value to their team regardless of the record? If you go by the stats, Wade's season was arguably better than LeBron's or Kobe's, but his case becomes less valued. If you go by impact, Wade's value to the Miami Heat was unmatched. Without him, that team is in the lottery. But if you go by team success, LeBron and Kobe obviously had the edge. There was also historical precedents to consider. In 1976, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar won the MVP despite the Lakers missing the playoffs. And in 2017, Russell Westbrook won it largely because of his individual brilliance, even though the Thunder were a 6th seed. So why didn't Wade get similar treatment? Is there any inconsistency in how MVP criteria is applied? Let's zoom out for a moment. Dwyane Wade might not have the MVP trophy, but his legacy is ironclad. He's a 3-time champion, a finals MVP, a 13-time All-Star, and one of the greatest shooting guards to ever play the game. But even with all that, there's something about that 2009 season that feels unfinished. It was the year Wade proved he could do it all: score, pass, defend, and lead. And yet, he didn't get the recognition many believed he deserved. So here's my question to you. Was Dwyane Wade robbed of the 2009 MVP, or was the award given fairly based on team success? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more upcoming videos and NBA content. My name is Damian Peters, this is Basketball Network. As always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.